Fashion Toppings here. You might recognize this shirt. It's one of the shirts I thrifted on the same day as I thrifted the red plaid shirt that I'm using, or I did use for the Marilyn Monroe project. And this is the one that gave me the idea in the first place. It looks like I think it's a union patch that they have on it. You know, like someone labor union or something like this. This is someone's work shirt. Doesn't smell like it. I mean, it's clean. But it has, you can tell the way it's sewn, they didn't finish it. So it's the same thing that's going to happen to the Marilyn Monroe patch when it's washed, is that, see that little lip of fray right there? Well, so I decided I wanted to add on to the shirt. And I don't want it to make it look like I've just thrown on one of my husband's old shirts and, you know, I'm just not trying to make an effort. But what I'm going to do to this is I'm going to turn it into a hoodie. I picture this as being more, because it's so big, picturing it more as a jacket. And I'm going to put up a t-shirt backing on the back to give it a little bit of, you know, wow, I guess, a little bit of wow factor. So I am going to use one t-shirt to update this. See, it's just a men's plaid shirt. It's big. But it has, like I said, all those rough edges that haven't been, you know, sewn down. So, but I'm going to see this. I'm going to try to make it into looking more like a jacket. So here we go. Okay, I'm already started prepping it for the sake of time. The first thing I did is I cut out the back of this t-shirt. I showed this t-shirt in my thrift haul. I very carefully just cut up center of the back and then cut around the picture, and that's it. So I could save all the fabric of the t-shirt, because the rest of the t-shirt is what I'm going to make the hood for my hoodie out of. So, I mean, you go into the thrift store, you can pay very little for this project. So I just cut a circle around. Now, I know with the Marilyn Monroe project, I put interfacing on the back of the Marilyn Monroe picture. Well, I did that so it had some stiffness to it. But this is a t-shirt. I want it to look grungy. This shirt is already sewn with raw edges, and so I don't care for the stiffness. I'm okay with it being flimsy. I'm going to sew this circular picture onto the back of this. And you don't even have to use a sewing machine if you don't want to. You can just hand stitch loosely around this and just put it on your back. Since this shirt already screams unfinished or, you know, rugged looking, I'm just going to sew, I'm going to lay this on the back of the shirt, and I'm just going to sew. I'm not going to do a zigzag. I'm just going to do a straight stitch in a circle all the way around it. That's all I am doing to put this on the back of the shirt, because t-shirt material won't fray, but what's nice, it's going to roll. See, this patch, I don't know what this patch means. Hopefully it's not anything offensive. I don't know. But see, this patch rolls on the edge. Since it's all rolled on the edge, I want that same look to this. I want the edges to roll when I wash it. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this on the back, and then you'll see what it's going to look like. And then it's a simple sew around the circle. And okay, and then we'll move on to the hood. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have it pinned on, as you can see. And I just kind of follow the stripes. The guitar, top of the guitar goes right to the point. So the top of the guitar points up right with center back, so that I know that I have it on straight. So that's what the back is going to look like. And I have seen some tutorials where they just safety pin it all the way around, and that looks pretty cool, but I want to be able to wash it and keep it and not worry about safety pins getting in my laundry, so I'm actually going to sew it on. But the safety pins do look cool, so you can just, if you don't have a sewing machine, you don't want it needle and thread, you can just safety pin it all the way around the circle, and that looks kind of rugged. And but like I said, I don't have that many safety pins, and two, I don't want to lose any in the wash. So I am going to sew mine around. Now here is one thing to keep in mind when you're doing the sewing. Now I'm going to use a straight stitch. So your edges, your edges are going to roll all the way to wherever your stitch line is. So if you want a lot of fabric, I don't see this from the angle. If you want a lot of fabric to roll, then you're going to want to sew farther down, because however far down you sew, this fabric is going to roll down to it. So like I said, the farther down farther into your circle you sew, the bigger the roll of fabric after you wash it. Now if you just want a little roll, you know, just a little bit of fabric that rolls when you wash it, then you're going to sew closer to the edge. So then just the little bit's going to roll. So I hope that makes sense. So think about that when you're deciding how much of, you know, your seam allowance or whatever, your stitch edge you want to have, your seam allowance. The farther in you go, the more fabric is going to roll when you wash it. So just keep that in mind. Now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I am going to just do a quick straight stitch all the way around the circle. It's real basic. Right around the circle, and that's it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so got it sewn on. So the back's going to look really cool. But like I said, I want to turn this into a jacket, so I want to add a hood. Okay, these are the little jackets that I got at the Black Friday sale at Old Navy. And I love how big the hoods are. Look at the size of the hood. So I kind of want something, you know, in similar the size. So I'm going to trace this. The first thing I'm going to do is I got my t-shirt. But see, you know, I cut it in half to get the back of it off. So it's one big long piece of fabric. Here are the arms. You can kind of picture, see, one big piece of fabric now. And this is the t-shirt I got the back emblem off of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, I'm folding it in half. You can see the big, this little arch right here is where I cut the emblem off. So I'm folding the t-shirt in half. I got the arms, you know, up here. And I'm folding it in half, and I'm going to lay my hood on top of it so I can trace it. So my hood, I'll take a picture so you can see. My hood is also going to be folded in half. See, there's my hood. I did the same thing to the t-shirt, just fold it in half, so I'm looking at the side view of the hood. Okay, let me go ahead and lay my hood down on the t-shirt, get it all cut out, and then I'll show you what's next. Okay, so now I cut out my hood. It's got lint on it. I cut out my hood, and the nice thing was is I took pictures, but the nice thing was I was able to lay the hood down at the bottom hem of the shirt. So the hood, the part that goes around my face, is already hemmed. Okay, the first thing I need to do now is flip it inside out because I cut it inside right. So I want to be looking at the, and I know it's hard to see because it's black on black. I always do black on black. I love black, but you can kind of see it here. So you're looking at the wrong side of the t-shirt. And so the first thing I'm going to do is, because these are two different pieces. See, they're two pieces folded together. Right sides facing each other. We're looking at the wrong side of the fabric, making sure everything's lined up. Now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to, okay, here's my face. This hem is already done. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the sewing machine. This side's finished. This is the hem that's going to be like facing right here, the outside of our face. Okay, and then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to do a straight stitch all the way along, or you can do a zigzag, whichever you prefer, it doesn't matter, because you're not going to be stretching this anyway. But I'm going to stitch all the way around my raw edge right here on the back of the hood. That's the part, when you put your hood up, that's the part that's going to be around the back of your head. Okay, I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. The hood part's done, so now it's just a matter of attaching it. So first thing I need to do is, since on the inside of the shirt, let me take the shirt off. On the inside of the shirt, when you're wearing it, people can see inside your collar, you know, because your shirt's going to be open. People can see the hood attached in here when your shirt is open here at the front. It can see the raw edge. So I need to finish this bottom edge of my hood. I need to finish it. It's up to you. If you want to be able to see the rolled edge of your seam on this, you can. Or if you want it to look finished, then do it this way. Okay, so I have my hood inside right. So I'm working with, this is the right side of the fabric. My finished seams are up here. They look nice. My hem is up here in the front. It looks nice. So I'm looking at the right side of the fabric. Okay, so down here at the bottom, this is the rough edge that's going to go by our neck. We are going to hem this towards the right side of the fabric. Now normally you would roll your fabric towards the wrong side so you can't see it. Normally if we're hemming, so we're just going to do opposite. Normally we roll towards the wrong side of the fabric. This time we're going to roll towards the right side of the fabric. So, and since this doesn't fray, I'm just going to do a single rolled hem. And once again, since it's black, it's hard to see. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to roll once. Put a pin in so you can see it. So now you can see the pins. So now all I need to do is take this to the sewing machine and do one straight stitch right along here, or I can do a zigzag. It doesn't matter on this. You're not going to be breaking threads or pulling on it so hard you're going to break threads. So I'm just going to keep on rolling towards the right side of the fabric all the way down my raw edge, and I'll be right back and we'll connect it to the shirt. So I sewed that hem in the bottom of my hood, and then I laid my shirt down. This is the inside of my shirt. Here's the tag. I laid the hood down right on the inside of the collar. There's the outside of the collar. So I laid it on the inside and just pinned it. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is if, you want the nicest, this is the part that's going to be visible, right by the snaps at the front of your shirt. This is the part that's visible. So I laid it down first. When I laid it down, I pinned these 2 pins first so that I knew that from the front, I had the same distance from the edge of the shirt to the hood, same distance, and that it's nice and flat and nice and smooth. Okay, then so these are the first 2 pins I put in, the 2 outside pins. The third pin I put in is center back, and that is because I want to make sure that the seam that's on the inside of the hood, let me show you. This seam that's on the inside of the hood lines up with center back so that your hood doesn't sit crooked. So those 3 pins are the most important pins. So that if because the hood that you traced may not be the same size as the neckline of the shirt that you have. So I'm just showing you a quick way to troubleshoot. Pin the outside first, these 2 first, and then center back second. And then, these first couple pins right here, these first 3 pins are, still visible when you're wearing it because it kind of lays open a little bit. So I make sure the fabric lays nice and smooth here. But if you notice, see my center back? See the little bumps? See all these little bumps right here? That's where I took up any excess fabric because no one sees the back of your neck because your collar's there, the hood's in there. No one's going to see that part. So if you want to hide excess fabric, just ease it in. See all those little bumps? It's nice and smooth. You can see it's nice and smooth out here, but in center back there's bumps. That's just where any extra fabric, I kind of evenly distribute it in center back here on each side of the center seam. And, the little bumps aren't going to be noticeable because they're hidden, like I said. 1, inside the collar, and 2, it's in the back. It lays flat in the back. No one ever sees that seam. So just letting you know where to hide the fabric if you didn't cut your hood to be the exact same size of your shirt. Because this is a DIY, we're not using patterns, this is, we're refashioning, so we're doing this on our own. So when we're tracing things, we need to know how to troubleshoot when we don't have a pattern that basically tells you exactly what size to have. So that's just a helpful hint, is take up the excess fabric here in the center back, just making sure that seam in the back of your hood stays center back. So I just bunched up fabric here, and I bunched up fabric here. And that's where I took up my extra fabric because my hood was a little too big for this shirt collar. But it's going to be fine. Now all I have to do is take it to the sewing machine. And for you, make sure when it's pinned like this, you try it on. Make sure that the hood is the right length. Make sure that it looks good. I already did that. I went into the bathroom and looked at how I had it. And I can still see my emblem on the back. So now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. And I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch. The only reason I'm doing a zigzag stitch is just for added strength because the hood is kind of heavy. But you can do a straight stitch. You can do straight stitch down and straight stitch back if you want to. But I'm going to do a zigzag just for the extra strength. So I'm going to lay it flat, making sure when I lay it flat, I get this collar out of the way. Make sure this collar's up and out of the way because we're going to be sewing all along the inside and the collar lays back down, so it's going to hide it. So if you use a zigzag, it's okay. This collar is going to hide it. So I'm just going to take this to the sewing machine and sew right down my hood and attach it to my shirt, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I sewed it on, and you can tell see, you can't see the stitching until you put the collar up. And then you can see my zigzag stitch, and no one's going to see that, so it doesn't matter how nice and neat you do it. So this is a great project for beginner sewers. Now, let's see how it looks. Okay, I love the looks of this. This is so kind of, I don't know, rugged. I don't know how to describe it. So as you can see, the inside is nice and smooth. And there's my hood in the back. Like it. Oh wow, I more than like it. I love this. Now I know I could have sized this shirt down and made it fit a little bit more, but I wanted it big, and I like that, the big look, because then if I'm wearing a thin sweater underneath, most of my stuff, if I, like a shirt like this, if I threw it on, it would be tight because of the bulk. And I just wanted something light. I'm going to wear this as a jacket. I'm not going to wear it as a shirt because now that I put the hood on it, it looks like a jacket. Oh, I love this almost as much as Marilyn Monroe, the Marilyn Monroe shirt. So, you know, and then, you know, my jewelry is just a rope. You know, you don't want to wear anything too dressy or something like this. So it's a rope necklace that my mom had given me. It's just a rope with a little medallion hanging from it. You know, the rustic belt I got from a Cherokee Rose. Meg made these. And like I said, the ring from Cherokee Rose. And these are earrings that I just bought. Like I said, I just bought these from Cherokee Rose, $6. I just think they're beautiful. And they've got a little bit of black oil in them to make them look a little bit rustic. So, and then boyfriend jeans and combat boots. I love it. This is my outfit for today. I am in love with this now. So, and this was basically, this was a thrifted shirt. I believe I paid like $5.75 or $5.25. I can't remember which one. I think it's $5.75. So $5. And then the $2, I think the t-shirt was $2.92. I don't remember if it was on 50% off or not. It might have been 50% off, but I just know that t-shirts at the Goodwill are $2.92. So I made this shirt for $8, you know, basically. Oh, $9, I guess. I love it. I am just in love with it. I'm going to take a picture of it real quick and get that put at the end of the video. And that's it, another refashion project. This is Amy with Fashion Toppings. Until next time, you have a great day.